There have been some important arrests tonight in connection with the U.S. drug enforcement agent missing in Mexico. Only yesterday, the DEA administrator accused the Mexican police of aiding the escape of a man believed to have been involved in the kidnapping. Today, among those arrested is the former head of the Mexico City Police. Here's ABC's Gary Shepard.
Mexican authorities in Tijuana called in reporters today and announced the apprehension of 3 suspects in connection with the Camarena kidnapping. One was said to be a former police and transport chief of Mexico City, another a former agent for Mexico's top federal security service. All 3 denied any knowledge of the disappearance of the American drug enforcement agent. The arrests were disclosed only one day after an appearance by DEA Chief Francis Mullen on ABC's This Week with David Brinkley. Mullen accused Mexican authorities of allowing one of the prime suspects in the kidnapping to slip through their fingers and leave Mexico.
I don't know if I would go so far as to say cover-up, but there may be some complicity at the lower levels of the law enforcement.
American drug enforcement officials here and in Washington said tonight they have no new information as to the whereabouts of Enrique Camarena, who's been missing now for 18 days. The 3 suspects are being flown to Guadalajara, where the abduction took place, for further questioning. Gary Shepard, ABC News, San Diego.
Federal prosecutors are ready to begin an unprecedented attack on the New York Mafia. This time, federal investigators in New York believe they have some of the biggest fish in their nets. Here's ABC's Michael Connor.
In the past year, more than 300 alleged members of New York's organized crime families have been indicted on charges ranging from extortion to murder. But tomorrow could see the biggest bust of all. Law enforcement sources say the Justice Department will announce the indictment of those said to be the bosses of New York's 5 crime families. Anthony Fat Tony Salerno, boss of the Genovese family. Jerry Langella, acting boss of the Colombo family. Antonio Tony Ducks Corallo of the Lucchese family. Philip Rastelli, boss of the Bonanno family. And Paul Big Paul Castellano of the Gambino family. In New York, Castellano is the boss of bosses. The 5 and several underbosses are expected to be charged under a broad federal statute for operating a continuing criminal enterprise. In other words, for running the New York Mafia. It will be the first time all 5 mob bosses have been indicted at the same time. U.S. Attorney Rudolph Giuliani would not comment today, but in an interview last week, he said the government finally had a chance at beating the mob.
This is exactly the right time to redouble the effort against the Mafia because we have a chance of crushing them, and we should maximize that opportunity.
These latest charges stem from a New York State investigation which found evidence that the organized crime families had actually formed a commission to discuss and plan a wide range of criminal activities. Investigators say that by striking at that commission, they have their best chance yet of defeating the mob. Michael Connor, ABC News, New York.